And at number 10, Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly are the hot new couple on the block in Hollywood. But a lot of people are not buying the relationship, and with how public that they've been, experts are pretty sure that it's a PR stunt. Here are just a few examples of why people think that it's fake. Firstly, in Megan's interview on the Give Them Lala with Randall podcast, Megan Fox revealed that she knew Machine Gun Kelly was her quote soulmate even before they met. And apparently after she heard MGK was cast as the other lead in the film, she already felt the connection deep in her soul. I don't know, it's a little suspicious. Also, MGK claims that he literally did nothing on set but pine and obsess over Megan Fox. They've also been all over social media claiming that they're twin flames. Megan also made waves by starring in MGK's music video for Bloody Valentine. And personally, I believe that Megan Fox needed a hot new relationship to get her name back in the spotlight, as well as to promote their new movie together. So it just seems pretty convenient to me. And at number 9, Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna. I fully believe that this relationship was entirely orchestrated by Chyna for 2 reasons. I think the first reason was to get famous off of the Kardashian name, but the second was to get some low-key revenge on the Kardashian family because Kylie stole her baby daddy Tyga. It seemed all too convenient when Rob and Chyna got together, and they moved at pretty much lightning speed, getting engaged and then learning they were pregnant. The couple also got their own show, Rob and Chyna, out of that relationship, which was lucrative for both of them. And even though it was a complete mess, it got major publicity for the both of them and gave tons of storylines for Keeping Up with the Kardashians as well. Of course, the two have a child together, so I'm sure some part of the relationship was real, but I also believe a lot of it was fake. And at number 8, Selena Gomez and The Weeknd. Selena Gomez and The Weeknd had a brief public relationship right after both of them broke up with their respective partners. But this relationship just seemed incredibly convenient, and honestly, these two people did not seem compatible whatsoever to me, which led to a lot of people thinking this relationship was actually fake. Here are a few reasons why. Firstly, the two got very public very fast and were paparazzied at music festivals like Coachella and out on the streets of LA, but they never posted anything to their own social media profiles, which could be proof that they never spent any time together alone, only in front of the cameras. Also, there were tons of blind gossip forums that claimed that many in the industry knew that it was just a publicity stunt. The last and most important piece of evidence for me was that both of them were seen out with their exes, Justin Bieber and Bella Hadid, almost right after Selena and Abel's breakup. And with all that combined, I'm pretty convinced that it was just a publicity stunt.
At number 7, Kathy Griffin. Out of all the celebrity Twitter scandals out there, I think Kathy Griffin's scandal is probably the most well known. For those who might not know the story behind this and the comedian's cancellation, back in 2017, Kathy posted a photo of herself holding a fake model of Donald Trump's head. The post was pretty gory and bloody and graphic, and it offended a lot of people. Trump's supporters and non-supporters alike were pretty taken aback by this post, as many people said that she took things way too far. As a result of the post, Kathy was subsequently fired from CNN, where she held a job co-hosting the New Year's Eve broadcast alongside Anderson Cooper. But after this bloodied head broke the internet, the broadcasters cut ties with the comedian, and it did a lot of damage to her career. She was already someone who was known for being a little offensive at times, and so this scandal really affected her career greatly. She regretted making this post because of how much backlash she got at the time, and she issued an apology for it, but after the most recent presidential election, she posted that same photo again, so maybe she didn't regret it as much as we thought she did. But honestly, who knows? At number 6, Janet Jackson. The Super Bowl halftime show is the one moment a year that millions of people tune in to watch the same thing. People turn off their reality TV programs and reruns of Jeopardy to grab a snack and watch the year's biggest performance. Well, during the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show, viewers watched a serious wardrobe malfunction happen that was life-changing to say the least. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake were performing together when a move went wrong, and Janet's breast ended up getting exposed. Following the incident, the media dubbed Nipplegate, the FCC sued CBS for the live incident in a $550,000 lawsuit citing indecent exposure for their cause. Janet Jackson was put through the ringer for her part in the scandal. As a result, she was uninvited to the Grammy Awards that year, and her songs were even blacklisted from the radio. Even the next few albums she released following the incident was met with negative reviews because of the scandal. If this were to have happened now, I doubt she would have been met with such severe backlash. It was later discovered that the whole incident happened because the two performers had added a costume reveal into their performance at the last minute, and though it was rehearsed, the stunt failed, resulting in Janet's exposure. It was all an accident that ended up destroying someone's career. At number 5, Milli Vanilli. In the 90s, there was a huge huge music scandal that ended careers and ended in tragedy. The lip sync scandal that surrounded Milli Vanilli was one of music's biggest scandals, and it revealed that they were never really a group and everything was fake. This stage act was put together by German record producer Frank Farian as he attempted to create the next biggest music stars like one big publicity stunt. It worked in theory, but they fell from grace as quickly as they rose. He had a vision to be able to release amazing music, but he needed the perfect people to sell it, and that's where Morvan and Politis came into play. These two dancers were hired to be the bright shining faces of Milli Vanilli, and even though it was a musical act, they never had to sing. In fact, they lip-synced their entire career. Their act was a hit, and it worked for a while, even earning themselves a Grammy for their song Girl You Know It's True, but like all good things, they can never last. Milli Vanilli conquered the Billboard charts. They were asked to tour and perform live, but things started to get difficult for them since this act never really sang, and playing pretend on stage just wasn't cutting it. Eventually, they were caught in the act, so to speak, as their track suddenly stopped working during a live performance, revealing that they were faking it all along. At number 4, Joe Exotic. After the success of the Tiger King documentary on Netflix, Joe Exotic became something of a celebrity. He became more of a meme, but news sources were still reporting on his life developments as though he was just any other public figure. In fact, they're still reporting on him, and I really don't know why. Joe's ex-husband, John Finley, recently came forward to talk about his relationship with the Big Cat owner and exposed his marriage to him, revealing that it was all fake. John said that his whole marriage was just for Joe's popularity, remarking that the wedding that they showed in the documentary was all, quote, basically a publicity stunt so Joe could get his own reality TV series. John has also said that he's since moved on with a woman and is trying to forget his past with Joe, which is a bit difficult for him since he's still carrying around tattoos of Joe's name, which he says will be covered up in the future.
And at number 3, Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens. Since these two were so young when they started making the High School Musical movies, I don't think that this relationship was exactly arranged, but I'm pretty confident that it was strongly encouraged. These two started dating during filming, and they broke up practically right when High School Musical was no longer on TV. And since I was a preteen at this time and totally eating up their entire relationship, I can definitely say that them dating in real life made the movies just so much better for me personally. There was also a rumor that at one point Zac Efron and Ashley Tisdale were dating, but they weren't allowed to go public with it because there needed to be the illusion that Troy and Gabriella were the ones that were actually together IRL. And at number 2, Noah Cyrus and Lil Xan. I think these two were in a fake relationship because they both needed publicity pretty badly, and frankly, it worked. We also got the legendary photo of Xan kissing Noah on the cheek on the red carpet and getting his face like smushed in. Really cringy photo. After speculation that the short relationship was staged, Lil Xan actually confirmed it. He said, quote, showed it to Columbia Records too for setting up that fake relationship. I didn't want to do it, to be completely honest. It was just added work to my schedule, you know what I mean? Noah immediately clapped back, saying the relationship was not staged, and it started when he hit her up over DMs. But her trying to deny that the relationship is faked was honestly just a little suspicious for me. And finally, at number 1, Taylor Swift and Harry Styles. If you've ever wondered if this relationship was faked, apparently a biography about Harry's life is coming out by Louisa Jepson, and in it she claims that the relationship was in fact fake. Apparently One Direction's team, quote, went to great lengths to put the two together because she's such a huge star. Adding, quote, anytime Taylor starts dating a new guy, she gets a flurry of media attention, and her breakups receive even more, Jepson said in the book. And one reason I believe this could be true is because this relationship was one of her most public, and she made a few dates to Harry that were picked up by the press and fueled their alleged feud. And a lot of people assume that she wouldn't be that savage unless she knew that he was in on it.
At number 10, Aubrey Plaza. Even though many have tried, I feel like award shows aren't really the place to be pulling weird stunts because they never end well. I mean, look at the Kanye VMA moment. It was just straight up cringy. But even the embarrassment factor can't stop all celebrities from pulling stunts at these events. And actress Aubrey Plaza is one of those stars who tried to pull some kind of stunt and it totally backfired, and it actually got her kicked out of the event. While attending the MTV Movie Awards back in 2013, Aubrey ran up on stage barefoot and tried to pry one of those golden popcorn trophies out of Will Ferrell's hands after he had just won the award for comedic genius. The comedian thought that the stunt was staged at first, but it turned out to have been a publicity stunt for one of Aubrey's films called The To-Do List, which she had spelled out across her chest. It was just a really cringy moment that I'm sure a lot of people have been trying to forget about, so sorry for bringing it up again. At number 9, Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen is quite the jokester and is known for his wild characters. From Bruno to Borat, he seems to always be in character, and this was seemingly no exception at the Academy Awards in 2012. Sacha was at the event and walked the red carpet in character as Admiral General Shahbaz al-Din from his film The Dictator. Along with being accompanied by 2 bodyguards, he had a prop with him, a golden urn filled with the pretend ashes of North Korean Premier Kim Jong-il. While walking the red carpet, he stopped to be interviewed by Ryan Seacrest, and then this happened. Sasha dumped the ashes on Ryan, ruining his suit and causing quite a scene at the event. Weeks later, we found out that Sasha's original target was actually George Clooney, but since it was a big night for him, they skipped Clooney, and the unfortunate prank landed on Ryan instead. After that, Ryan purposely steered clear of Sasha, refusing to interview him, and the Academy has been vigilant of Sasha's stunts, though they haven't really been able to stop him since. Before we carry on talking about when publicity stunts went wrong, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Sinead O'Connor. In October 1992, Sinead O'Connor caused some controversy during her guest spot on SNL. She was brought on the show to be the evening's musical guest, and already people were a little confused by her as she refused to sing one of her songs from her recent album at the time. Instead, she opted to sing an a cappella version of Bob Marley's song War. It was an intense performance, and she even changed some of the lyrics to specifically mention young people. As the song came to an end and she was wrapping up the performance, she pulled out a photo of Pope John Paul II and tore it up, saying, quote, "Fight the real enemy." Sinead's actions caused quite a stir. After her performance, NBC started receiving thousands of angry calls over the following days, and even some celebrities came forward to criticize Sinead's actions. She wanted to bring attention to the Catholic Church's treatment of young people because she's had personal experience with such things. This was certainly a publicity stunt gone wrong.
Sliding into number 7 is Paris Hilton's sex tape. Back in 2003, Paris's sex tape was allegedly leaked online but caused a ton of controversy because the whole thing just seemed a little sketchy. The video was called One Night in Paris and showed footage of her and her ex-boyfriend Rick Salomon. But when it was leaked, the video footage at that point was actually 3 years old. Paris claimed that her ex leaked it randomly, but people think that she did it because it was leaked just before the premiere of her new reality show. I personally don't want to say that she did it in case she really didn't, because then that is a horrible thing to have something intimate and personal leaked like that. But all the articles that I read claim it was a PR stunt and that she benefited from it, especially financially. In spot number 6 is Nicki Minaj and DJ Khaled getting engaged. Maybe that statement is shocking to you because you didn't realize they got engaged, but don't worry, you may have not realized it because it was all fake. Back in 2013, DJ Khaled proposed to Nicki on MTV and it seemed genuine at first. Nicki even wore the ring for a while. But then she came clean and blew their cover by saying she never thought the proposal was even real, though she acted shocked like the rest of the world when it happened on live TV because she really didn't expect it. She gave away all the details and said that it was all a PR stunt to promote the song that they were collabing on called I Wanna Be With You. That is one way to promote a song, let me tell ya. Halfway through our countdown at number 5 is Sacha Baron Cohen dumps ashes. Back in 2012, the comedian arrived to the Oscars in character as a Middle Eastern leader and claimed that he was carrying the ashes of former North Korean leader Kim Jong-il. He was literally carrying a fake urn full of fake ashes. Like, he went full out for this character and costume. While walking the red carpet, he stopped for an interview with Ryan Seacrest and ended up dumping the ashes all over him, completely ruining his tuxedo for that evening. Sasha was immediately removed from the red carpet and was escorted from the Oscars by security. Basically, no one found it was funny, and he ended up just missing out on the Oscars. Was it really worth it? Here now at number 4 is Anna Wintour's Vogue cover. If you aren't a big fashion industry follower, Anna Wintour is the woman behind Vogue. Back in 2014, she decided to put Kanye West and Kim Kardashian on the cover together, and she openly admitted that it was part of her PR stunt. Everyone knows that Vogue is a magazine that people in the fashion world look at as basically a bible. And like all magazines, it is super important to sell as many copies as you can. Despite Kanye being the center of controversy for his outbursts and erotic behavior, she still put them on the cover so that people would talk about it. During an interview, she said, "If we just remain deeply tasteful and just put tasteful people on the cover, it would be a rather boring magazine. Nobody would talk about it. It is very important that people do talk about us." Well, look at you, Anna. Genius.
At number 3, Paula Deen. There was once a time where everyone was in love with Paula Deen. She was once the wholesome southern mom who loved to cook, but after 2013, her public image was tarnished after a lawsuit revealed her racist actions to the world. Back then, Paula was facing legal action from one of her former employees who alleged that Paula was racist towards her and that she had been repeatedly harassed while working at one of her restaurants. After being deposed, the truth came out after Paula was asked if she had ever used the N-word, and she admitted to it. After this came out, things got worse for Paula and backlash ensued. As anyone would do, Paula tried to control the situation and de-escalate it, and even sat down for an interview on the Today Show, but instead of owning up to her actions and trying to clear her name as most people would try and do in that situation, Paula instead downplayed this situation, deflected the blame, and even commented on how surprised she was that people were mad about what she did. It was thought that this interview was all done for publicity, not for making a public apology, and after this, her career has never been the same. At number 2, Britney Spears and Madonna. Can you believe that it's been around 18 years since Britney Spears and Madonna blew people's minds when they kissed live on stage at the MTV VMAs? After Britney, Madonna, and Christina Aguilera opened the show with a performance, they did something that was considered pretty bold for the time, and Britney and Madonna shared a kiss. The moment was broadcast, but cameras were cut for a brief moment, so those watching at home didn't see the whole thing, but the other people in the audience sure did. The camera did a brief pan around the room when the kiss happened, and people were stunned, taken aback, and losing their minds over what was going on stage. This kiss made headlines, and as expected, people talked about it and caused it to be a much bigger deal than it really should have been. Either way, looking back on it now so many years later, I have to say, that was pretty epic. And finally, at number 1, Kanye West. I think we all know that Kanye West is an outspoken dude. No matter the circumstance or setting, Kanye will do whatever he wants when he feels like it and won't apologize for any of it. One example of this has to come from his commentary on the situation in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina hit Louisiana back in 2005. After the devastating storm passed through the area, celebrities were gathered to do a televised fundraiser to help those affected. Teleprompters were set up for the stars to read statements and encourage people to donate, but Kanye decided to Kanye it up a bit and added his own thoughts to the situation.
I've even been shopping before even giving a donation, so now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give.
Kanye went on a tangent about how he feels for the people affected, especially the black families struggling to stay safe and fed, saying that he wanted to donate as much as he could to the cause. He went on for a while, and after he passed it back to Mike Myers, who he was presenting with, Kanye took the attention back to then say the infamous line,
"George Bush doesn't care about black people."
They immediately cut the broadcast from them and went over to someone else, and Kanye's remarks were made famous, but probably not in the best way.
In the number 10 spot is Shia LaBeouf and his paper bag. Remember that time when he showed up on the red carpet wearing a tuxedo and a brown paper bag over his face? If not, let me refresh your memory. He was super fed up with the media at the time, and I guess he decided he just no longer wanted to be famous. So he showed up at the film premiere for Nymphomaniac with a paper bag covering his face, and painted on it was, "I am not famous anymore." But in the attempt of not being famous, it only made the press talk about him more, which resulted in extra publicity for his film as well. So did he really not want to be famous anymore, or was it a genius marketing ploy to get people talking about him and his new movie? Moving on to number 9, we have the iconic nip slip. Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson performed at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2004 and had a wardrobe malfunction that caused a ton of controversy. At the end of the performance, Justin rips off a piece of her costume to reveal a bralette, but instead it revealed her bare breast. For a while, people thought it was a genuine mistake, but then the theory surfaced claiming it was actually a publicity stunt. Janet's career took a huge hit though, and went very dark for years to follow, but Justin rose to the top. A chairman from the Federal Communications Commission said, "I personally thought that was really unfair. It all turned into being about her. In reality, if you slow the clip down, it's Justin ripping off her breastplate." Facts. It really wasn't her fault. She didn't even touch it. It was Justin who showed it. Anyways. Cruising into number 8 is Heidi Montag's insane plastic surgery. She rose to fame after appearing on the show The Hills, but by the end of the series she was losing fame because people couldn't stand her or her husband anymore. At the same time that she and her hubby Spencer Pratt were getting ridiculed and losing fans, Heidi underwent an insane plastic surgery transformation, undergoing 10 surgery procedures at one time. It's crazy. Heidi explained that she did all 10 at once as a way to just get it all over with, like at one time, but others say that it was a way to just grasp onto fame that she was losing. Regardless, she wanted to look a different way due to personal insecurities, but the drastic transformation didn't seem necessary in the sense of like doing it all at once. On the show, she said that she did it because she wanted to look like Barbie.
In at number 7, Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield. These two coincidentally started dating the same time that they were starring as love interests in the Spider-Man franchise. And that's pretty much the biggest sign of a fake relationship that there is. However, I do have to say that these two are pretty much the only couple that I actually thought were good together and like could be a thing in the real world. One of the biggest reasons people think that this was a fake relationship is because they were together during the promotions for Spider-Man, but split up once the movie didn't need any more promotion. Then after taking a break, they ended up getting back together when they were both up for the Oscars, and seemingly when they needed some much needed publicity. And although none of this is solid proof, it's just very like interesting timing. And at number 6, Timothée Chalamet and Lily Rose Depp. This is another couple that started because they were love interests on the movie that they were part in called The King. Both Timothy and Lily are rising stars, and it made sense for both of them to get in a relationship together to get even more publicity, especially since they're a very good looking couple, I have to admit. The situation here is that they were spotted up together in New York City, and paparazzi pictures of course, looking pretty cozy together. But everyone wasn't convinced that they were actually together until they showed up to the Venice Film Festival hand in hand. But there is a chance that their management didn't think that they were selling their love story good enough, so days after the festival, these photos of them kissing on a boat were released, and they show very clear romantic interest, along with a whole lot more that we won't get into. But there has been a lot of talk that this photo is staged because it's almost impossible for paparazzi to get that close of a shot unless the celebrities let them. Halfway at number 5, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. Looking back, this relationship was really unfortunate, and they both looked pretty uncomfortable the whole time, especially Kristen Stewart. In the beginning, I honestly just thought she was an awkward person, but seeing how she's changed over the recent years, it's clear that she was just putting on a show to promote Twilight. Their relationship of course coincided with the creation of the hit Twilight franchise and ended right about the same time. They were together for a very short time after the franchise ended, until Kristen cheated on Robert with a film director. But Robert didn't seem too sad about it and actually got engaged only a short while after that. So to me, this situation seemed like two people who were dying for Twilight to end so they could date who they really wanted to. And at number 4, Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes. This is another relationship that I'm convinced started out as a PR stunt, but ended up turning into a real relationship. The pair met in 2014 when they were both on tour with Austin Mahone, and they were apparently friendly. They even released a song together. But everything changed when they released the hit song Senorita that went on to be a smash hit. A big part of the success was the fact that the two of them started dating in the midst of it and literally could not keep their hands off each other. And at first, with the level of PDA that they were showing, it looked very fake. But since it's been a few years and they're still together, I believe the fake relationship ended up blossoming into a real one.
Taking over the 3rd spot is Miley Cyrus twerks on Robin Thicke. Who could ever forget the 2013 VMA performance that was talked about more than any performance ever? In the performance, she did a duet with Robin Thicke, who is a married man, and twerked all over him in a 2-piece nude colored set with a foam finger, doing inappropriate and weird things that I will not mimic. Miley received a lot of hate for it for a long time. Obviously, people were calling her a slut and every name in the book, like that one. Robin was calling all the criticism ridiculous and acted like the performance was not pre-planned. Miley blew his cover and said they rehearsed it like that many times. She said, "He acted like he didn't know that was going to happen. He was actually the one that approved my outfit. He wanted me as naked as possible." But it worked. I mean, their performance actually broke Twitter records. That's how much people were talking about it. Winning 2nd place is Kathy Griffin and Donald Trump's head. The actress and comedian landed herself in a lot of trouble back in 2017 after posting an inappropriate picture online. She teamed up with famous photographer Tyler Shields to do a very controversial photo shoot of her holding up a decapitated, bloody head of Donald Trump. The image looked so real and graphic that sites had to blur it and block it from their sites, even though it was just a mask. She also received a bunch of death threats after that, and she was banned from traveling. At first, she apologized when she saw all the backlash, but then she took the apology back and said that it was all BS. Her publicity stunt was meant to make a powerful stance with her political views, like I get that, but it completely backfired on her. In the number 1 spot is Tana Mongeau and Jake Paul's wedding. Two of the most famous YouTubers in the world faked an entire relationship, even an epic Las Vegas wedding. They pretended to date for a little while before he proposed to her on a Vegas nightclub stage, and fans were thrilled. Really, they were just friends who Tana says never slept together or actually had feelings invested. They did a fake engagement, a fake wedding party, and even a fake wedding in Vegas, which they filmed, and their fans had to pay $50 to watch it live online. People got really invested in the relationship, thinking that this was real love, but the whole thing was just an act and a money grab. They openly admitted that it was all done for clout, but honestly guys, Google pictures of this wedding, they went all out. It actually looked very real.